Hey girls. So today we want to learn how to solve quadratic equations like this by factorizing. So when it says solve that, it means they want you to find out what the values of x are. So what you're going to do is factorize it. Since x is common, let's take that out. You've got that. We've learned how to factorize it, but we haven't really learned why we need to factorize it, and here's why. Let's have a look at this x, and let's just ignore the second bracket for now. What you see is x equals 0. That's actually a first answer to this quadratic equation. Do the same thing with the second bracket. Ignore the x in front of it. Let's just take that bracket out separately. So you've got x minus 2 equals to 0. So in this case, if you bring the minus 2 to the other side, you get x equals to plus 2, or just 2. These two are your solutions to this equation. You can obviously always check that if your answers are correct by substituting it back in. So let's just check. So if I replace 0 in here with the x's, I've got 0 squared minus 2 times 0. And that's obviously equal to 0, which is the same thing as the right hand side here. So you know x equals to 0 is correct. Do the same thing for x equals to 2. Replace it here. So you've got 2 squared minus 2 times 2. That's 4 minus 4, and that's equal to 0, which is the same thing as here. So you know these two are correct. These two answers are correct. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing for this next equation here. We're going to factorize this equation. Now, as you can see, this is the difference of two squares. So let's use this formula here. A squared minus b squared equals to a minus b, a plus b. Alright? So if I want to factorize in this form, in this case, it's going to be x minus, there is no whole number that you can square to get 15. So I'm going to write square root of 15, bracket x plus root 15. That is equal to 0. Just get rid of the equal sign there. Now do the same thing. Take the first bracket here, just ignoring the second one. Then you've got x minus root 15 equals to 0. So x is equal to, bring that to the other side, that's plus root 15 or just root 15. That's your first solution. Same thing with the second one. You've got x plus root 15 equals to 0. So then x is equal to minus root 15 because you're taking the plus to the other side. So those two are your solutions. Just a quick shortcut instead of writing it out separately. The answers to your solutions is just basically the opposite sign of what's inside the bracket. So instead of minus root 15, the first answer is plus root 15. The second answer is just the opposite of plus, and you've got minus root 15. Okay? So, we want to do the same thing with this quadratic equation in the next example here. But as you can see, this is not in the same format as what questions we went through here. We want to make it equal to 0. So in this case, what I'm going to do is write 2x squared, but I'm going to bring this 50 to the other side. Now that's a plus 50 right now, so if we bring it to the other side, it becomes minus 50, and that is equal to 0. So that's the first step that you want to do, make it equal to 0. And then do the same thing as what we've been doing here, factorize that. So in this case, 2 is common, so take the 2 out, got x squared minus 25 equals to 0. And we can further factorize that. That's the difference of 2 squared. 2 squares like here. So you've got 2x minus 5, x plus 5 equals to 0. And then from here, solve for x. In your first bracket, the opposite of minus 5 is plus 5. So your first answer is x equals to 5 or plus 5. And here, x is equal to, opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. So those two are your solutions here. Okay? So we're going to apply the same strategy here. In this case, the first step, like I said, you want to make it equal to 0. In this case, it is. So you can just get to the second step, which is to factorize it. So in this case, if I use a cross method to factorize it, it's just 1 and 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So if I factorize it, this is the same thing as x plus 1 equals to 0. Because they're the same thing, I can write this as x plus 1 squared equals to 0. Now, as you can see, I've only got one bracket here, so that means I'm only going to get one solution. In this case, x is equal to, opposite of plus 1 is minus 1. Okay? So you're not always going to get two solutions like the questions we have here. sometimes it is possible to just get one solution. Okay? Alright, so let's do the same thing here. The first step, like I said, let's just summarize it, is to make sure bring all the terms to one side to make it equal to 0. In this case, they have done the first step. Everything is on one side, which equals to 0. Second step, factorize it, then solve for x. Okay, so let's do the second step. So if I factorize this, top of my head using cross method, I'm going to have 5x and 2x here, and I'm going to have 3 there, 1 there, and I'm going to put minus on both sides. Minus 15, plus 1. Minus 15 plus 2, that's minus 13. Right. Okay, so when I factorize this, it's going to look like this. Okay, so we've done this step, we factorize it, now we have to solve for x. Now, you're not always going to have a whole number like here. Sometimes you can get a fraction. So in this case, if I actually take that bracket out and solve it, 5x plus 1 equals to 0. If I solve for x here, got 5x equals to minus 1, x is equal to minus 1 over 5. So that's your first solution, and as you can see, it's a fraction, it's not a whole number, and that's fine. Do the same thing here, solve 2x minus 3 equals to 0. So 2x equals 3, x is equal to 3 over 2. So these two are your solutions to this quadratic equation. Okay? So girls, with this in mind, you should be able to do question 4 to 6 in the Cambridge exercise 5F. And then later on, I'll go through a couple of examples.